Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. So, today I want us to have a very interesting discussion about flashbacks and RWBY, why they are important, and why we actually need more of them in the series itself. Because if you think about it, flashbacks are a very important thing, and they actually give us information on a lot of things that have happened that we haven't seen, as well as info to characters. But anyways, so sit back, relax, I hope you all enjoy, and let's get this discussion started. So, flashbacks have been an important thing in any series in general because they actually teach you a lot of things about the lore itself, as well as characters, motives, and other parts of the series is very essential to future plot references or things that go along the part of the plot that they're at. And one thing that definitely has helped out with RWBY, for example, is actually telling about some of the characters. I mean, look at Lyra and Nora's backstory. It at least gave us a little bit of an insight to them, how they met, and how they really had to face their fear, which was the Nuka-Lave. It was kind of like their demon that obviously had been tormenting them for years until they finally had to face off against it within Volume 4 itself. And, of course, looking at this, it showed the growth for Lyren's character when both Nora and Lyren killed the Nuka-Lave. And, it shows a very good thing here for them to actually grow as characters and get past the problems that they had to endure within their childhood. And obviously, looking through all of this, it actually shows the characters that they have grown up to become, and that's actually a good thing to actually show them overcoming their problems or their fears. And that's something that's good for characters to actually establish them, to help them grow, and to understand these characters a lot better. And when you look at it, backstories really help not just that, but they also help the plot. Sometimes they can really progress the plot within the circumstance they're being used in. And if you actually think about it, one thing that was very helpful to this was Cinder's backstory. Because if you think about Cinder's backstory, and let's look at this for a moment, Cinder's backstory was very good because it showed you how she built up her way to going to Vale, and, obviously, trying to take down Ozpin in the Academy. This obviously shows that, she was being built up, and it shows her connection between Emerald and Mercury. It shows the whole backstory behind them, it shows their relationship, and it shows how they worked to get where they are. And when you actually think about this, it shows the interesting relationship between Emerald, Mercury, and Cinder as to how she got them together to be a part of her group, which obviously she refers to them as disciples in the future, which shows that there is a respectful, trusting relationship between the three of them. And if you actually think about it also, Emerald states that Cinder gave them everything. That if it wasn't for Cinder, then they would pretty much just be nobodies that wouldn't have a chance at life. And, this was a very good thing to show all three of these characters. It wasn't just Cinder, but it was all three of them, and it shows the relationship of how they have learned to work together, and obviously become a team to where Cinder is teaching them. And that's actually a very interesting thing, because we did actually get to see this and how they actually started off. And, when you actually think about it, it also taught us more about Cinder's character, and of course, them fighting together to actually take down the Fall Maiden, so that Cinder could achieve becoming the next Fall Maiden. And this gave us a demonstration of how powerful the Maidens are. It gives us an idea of how strong they actually are, which is very interesting to think about because this showed us that the Maidens are actually a force to be reckoned with, that they are very powerful. And, looking to see that they actually took down Amber and then actually started to steal the powers of the Fall Maiden, which then were interrupted by Crow, this shows that it made sense for Ozpin to be looking for a guardian, as he said, to become the next Maiden, which then, of course, he was trying to get Pyrrha to become that, because, of course, if they had let the rest of the powers fall into Cinder's hands, then, of course, that would allow Cinder to be able to get to the relic wherever Ozpin had hidden it. So, of course, he was trying to stop them from obviously getting the powers of the Fall Maiden. And if you think about this, this is actually a very informative thing because it just shows us why he was trying to protect the Fall Maiden. This shows us why Ozpin was so interested in trying to get Pyrrha to become the next Maiden. And, it contributes to the plot. See, that's why backstories are very important, because they can really contribute to the future of the plot. They can really give you an insight as to what could potentially happen in the future, and it also helps you understand characters with their backstories even more, and it actually shows you the importance of what this is. Because without backstories, we wouldn't really understand certain characters' motives, we wouldn't understand why certain characters teamed up together. This answers a lot of questions when it comes to these situations, and this did help us understand Cinder a lot better if you think about it, as well as Emerald and Mercury's kind of way of looking at Cinder as well. And when you think about it, this opened up a lot of answers. I mean, not every answer, but it opened up some answers that people may actually have, about Cinder's character and about how Emerald and Mercury, obviously partnered up with Cinder. And it obviously shows how Cinder actually got her way up to the top when it came to Volume 3 at the very end when she defeated Ozpin, gained the Fall Maiden powers. And of course, yes, when it came to RWBY obviously stopping her, yeah, that happened, but it showed her work her way to the top. It's not like she just immediately became this all powerful out of nowhere, that she always had the strength from the very beginning. It just showed that she worked her way up, and that's a respectable thing to see, is that she actually worked her way up to getting this power. It's not like she was just immediately given this power. Not only this, but when you think about it, a backstory would have actually really helped when it came to Raven, when it came to the whole killing the Spring Maiden, to gain her powers. I think that this actually would have helped out a lot if there was more explanation behind this, at least us seeing a flashback of her killing the Spring Maiden, because we could have at least seen the events of how it took place and what made her decide to actually come to this decision. Of course, she states that she killed the Spring Maiden because she was too weak, but because of a statement being made, we didn't really get to see it in its full force. We didn't get to see the whole thing and understand it more than we could have, because just saying it, yes, that does answer the question, but I would have rather us seen more of a backstory to Raven training the Spring Maiden and, maybe her not making it, maybe the Spring Maiden just not being as, successful as Raven wanted her to be, and maybe giving Raven a little bit of character death by deciding that, this may not be a good idea, or at least struggling with the decision, because I think this would have actually been very interesting to see, or if she just full-heartedly just wanted to kill her for the powers. I think this would have been something that would have been good to actually see, because just stating it doesn't really have that, grasp or that impactful moment as actually seeing how it went down, because I think that this could have been done in a way that could have made us maybe feel more for the Spring Maiden, or feel more for maybe even Raven if she struggled through this. I mean, deciding to kill her and everything. And that would have been interesting to actually see it happen rather than just hear it. And that's like with the Silver Eye situation. I feel like we could have actually seen more of the event between Cinder and RWBY take place as to the Silver Eyes activating. I mean, I feel like this could have been answered in Volume 5 at least, or something of that sort, because the Silver Eyes obviously have been led on a lot, and apparently they're important to the plot. But the thing about this is that, I would rather us see more when it came to that event, and to see Cinder's injuries at least, something to that effect, because yes, we know that RWBY took Cinder's eye, and of course her arm apparently was injured in some way or form, whether it was severed there, or maybe not even there, maybe later on. We don't even know what exactly happened at that moment, which is kind of bothersome. And not only this, but if you actually think about it, a lot of characters actually need some backstory thrown into them so that we can understand them better. I mean, we need Cinder's origin story. I think we need to know how Cinder got started. I think we need to know whether it was of loss, whether, she just knew that something wasn't right with the Hunter program from the start, or, how she even discovered Salem for that matter. We need to know all these things, and, there's just so many things that could actually be talked about when it comes to flashbacks, and flashbacks really need to be explained, because when you sit there and you have somebody in the series just explaining it, but we're not seeing anything in the backstory, it's just being talked about. I mean, yeah, it helps us know what happened. It helps us to see the event take place, and it helps us to actually understand and feel more for that character, because the scene itself brings more power to it, much more emotional power than just hearing it. I mean, hearing it, yes, that will still bring emotional power, but when you think about it, actually seeing what they went through rather than just hearing about it, it helps you firmly believe it a lot more with less questions, because when you just hear about it and not see it in the series, it makes you question certain things, especially if a character seems a little unbelievable or non-believable when it comes to what they're trying to present. But, that's just something that I think about it, because, flashbacks are important. They do help a series grow and progress and even answer questions. But anyways, let me know what you think down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And if you did enjoy, hit the video with a like, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and share this with your friends if you found this informative or useful. Well, anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful day. And remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow could always be better. Take care of yourselves. Have yourselves a wonderful day. And I hope you all take care, and I hope you have a good one out there today.